Another day, another Zelensky backflip. Yes, the president of Ukraine is back on the microphone, rolling back his commitment to an unconditional ceasefire in the war against Russia.
First of all,
Будь-які перемовини це
any negotiations, it's a very
закінчити війну, особливо якщо це стосується
it's a chance to finish the war.
не готові.
So far, the Russians are not showing that they're ready to finish the war. With regard to the Crimean territory, that would be one of the sensitive and complex issues at the future.
Перший крок все
The first step is one thing. Ceasefire, of course, we need to
як то
cross some grounds to get there in order to have quiet sky and quiet seas. So they are the correct steps if we want to end the war with a just peace. And then we'll be moving to other questions. Amongst them, of course, would be territory questions. The red line for us, it's if the temporarily occupied Ukrainian territories will be considered Russian. We would not agree to that.
This comes after the president reneged on the 30-day ceasefire agreement and demanded more money from both the US and Europe to keep the war going.
I can't be for sure that 30 days are enough for that. I think that from our side it will be enough. But when we have three parties, three sides, and we'll do everything to have not three but four sides, to be Europe to be included as well, and I would like us to be supported by the partners. It's important for us because, let's be honest, who will fund the support of Ukraine? Who will help in funding of our army? And where will Ukraine be in the security guarantees and its economic component of this guarantees? That depends on European Union. The help is Europe. I mean financial support of the army and the recovery of Ukraine. The whole world wants that, and maybe the whole world will do that, but we rely upon, first and foremost, upon Europe and America. And that is why I think that who we are relying upon, those have to be the subjects of the deal. Europe, the United States, and we, the ones who are at war, Ukraine and Russians. That's what I think. And then maybe not 30 days, maybe a bit longer will be needed.
Online commentators are becoming fed up with the drawing out of this war by Zelensky, with this person saying he wants to keep that European cash rolling in, doesn't care about his people. This commentator agreed, simply saying, why doesn't he want this war to end? And this theory could have legs, with the relationship between Zelensky and European leaders looking very cozy.
Sorry, Manuel. I have just conversation with the journalist. Can I be back in some minutes, in 15-20 minutes? Yeah, please. Thank you, Manuel. Okay, great. Bye-bye.
This commentator slammed the interaction, saying, Macron called Zelensky during his conversation with journalists. He picked up the phone, explained to him that he was talking to the media and promised to call back in 15 to 20 minutes. They talk on average once a day. And it seems a ceasefire may be out of reach, with Putin also putting conditions to stop the war.
We agree with the propositions to stop hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that such ceasefire should be such that would lead to a permanent peace and remove the original causes of the crisis.
CNN commentator Sir William Browder slammed Putin for also dragging out this war.
This is a classic KGB rope-a-dope. Putin just wanted to throw a whole bunch of complicating features into the whole thing he's going to put some tiny little thing out there that he's going to offer, and then he's going to put a bunch of unrelated things out there, and invite everybody to a long, unproductive negotiation. Putin doesn't want this war to end. Putin needs this war in order to stay in power. This war is a way of turning Russians' attention away from him towards a foreign enemy. He can't afford to compromise, and he never has compromised. And so this is just one more example of that.
Sky News US analyst Michael Ware agrees, saying Putin is stalling and dragging out discussions.
Let's go to Michael Ware, our US analyst. More talk, so he's sort of crab walking to a result here?
Well, I'm not so sure, because it appears more, rather than crab walking, I suspect that Russian President Vladimir Putin is just stalling and trying to drag this thing out, the discussions alone about a ceasefire, so that they can maintain military gains they're making on the ground and perhaps press for more. And the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has just hosted about 20 European leaders to discuss the security of Ukraine and any potential ceasefire. And he made it very, very clear that Europe doesn't trust Putin, and that unless there are severe consequences put into place, then Europe believes that Russia will continue its aggression. So I'm not sure how much closer we're getting.
Yeah.
Look, Zelensky will accept a ceasefire on almost any terms right now, but if you listen to the Kremlin's readout of the discussion between Putin and American President Donald Trump, the Kremlin says, America agrees with them, that we have to look at the root causes of the war, which is Ukraine wanting to join NATO, and that the Americans are much closer to the Russian position than they are to the Ukrainian position, and the Ukrainians and all of Europe are saying the exact opposite.
And the leftist media can't help but use the war to drag President Trump again, with CNN commentator John Bolton bizarrely saying Trump only wants ceasefire so he can win a Nobel Peace Prize.
Principals, Secretary of State Rubio, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz kind of do the talking?
Look, the pressure that Trump has put on for a ceasefire is motivated by one thing: Trump's desire for good publicity and to buttress his case to get a Nobel Peace Prize. You want a ceasefire between two warring parties, they need to decide it.